principles, and also looking at risk management under safeguarding. So, what is safeguarding? Safeguarding means protecting people's health, well being, and human rights, and enabling them to live free from harm, abuse, and neglect. So, if you were to forget everything else, all you need to remember is that safeguarding means to protect. And who are you protecting? You're protecting everyone who you come into contact with, be it your colleagues, be it your research participants, be it children, be it vulnerable people. And vulnerable people are described as um, people who are at risk, either because of their age, it could be because of ailments, or because of their sexual orientation. So I will also go into some key definitions that we will see as we delve into this topic. The first being abuse. Remember, we talked about safeguarding, meaning that it is a protection from abuse, harm, and neglect, or exploitation of any kind. So, abuse is defined as the mistreatment or harm inflicted upon an individual. So, this can either be physical, emotional, psychological, or sexual, and it often results in injury, distress, or suffering. Abuse can occur in various forms and contexts, including interpersonal relationships, institutions, and society or societal structures. Then we might want to delve into the types of abuse or examples, and there's physical abuse. This is where physical harm is inflicted by a person, and you can do this by hitting, punching, kicking, or using weapons. Then we have emotional or psychological abuse, and this is where a person inflicts emotional or physical harm through behaviors such as verbal insults, humiliation, manipulation, intimidation, or threats. And this also includes bullying. Then we have sexual abuse, and this is, I would say, one of the most common and known types of abuse. And this is where a person engages in non consensual sexual activities or behaviors, including rape, molestation, sexual harassment, exploitation, or coercion. Then we have financial abuse, and this is exploiting or manipulating someone for financial gain, control, or theft of assets, such as withholding money, stealing funds, or coercing financial decisions. We also have discrimination, and this is the unfair or prejudicial treatment of people based on characteristics such as race, gender, age, or sexual orientation. We also have discrimination based on someone's religion, ethnic background, or disability. It includes isolation and making tribal or sexist remarks. Adult at risk. This is someone who is older than 18 years old who requires extra care and support due to either their gender or sexual identity, disabilities that are physical, mental, or emotional, or who cannot reasonably protect his, her, or their self from abuse, harm, and or exploitation. Then we have child or children, and they are defined by the UN Convention of the Rights of the Child, in short UNCRC, as being individuals under the age of 18 years of age. So this is the definition by the UNCRC. However, it's important to note that in some jurisdictions, a child is considered to be can be considered to be of 16 years of age and below. However, when it comes to safeguarding, the general rule or the principle that has been carried is that a child has to be under the age of 18. So it's irrespective of whatever national laws provide. According to safeguarding and in the safeguarding realm, a child has to be of 18 and below, a person of 18 years and below. So mistaken belief in the age of a child is not a defense for abuse. Then we move on. There is neglect, and this is the persistent failure to meet a child, adolescent, or adult at risk's basic physical or psychological needs, and is likely to result in the serious impairment of his or her health or development. Some examples include failure to provide adequate food, clothing, and shelter, failure to protect them from physical or psychological harm, or danger, failure to ensure adequate supervision, including the use of inadequate caregivers, or failure to ensure access to appropriate medical care or treatment as a result of carelessness, indifference, or unwillingness. Then we have harassment, and this means engaging in unwarranted or unwanted conduct which has the purpose or effect of either violating another person's dignity or creating an intimidating, hostile, degrading, humiliating, or offensive environment for another person. Harassing conduct may include offensive jokes, slurs, name calling, physical assault or threats, intimidation, ridicule, insults, offensive pictures, and more. Then we have what I think should be the last definition, which is professional ethics. And these are the principles that govern behavior in a business environment, such as honesty, transparency, accountability, confidentiality, objectivity, respect, obedience to the law, and loyalty. This refers to how a person acts towards colleagues as well as members of the communities and organizations we engage with. So, having come to the end of the definition section and having defined what safeguarding is, you may be asking yourself, why am I here for this session on safeguarding, or why is it important to me? There are two main reasons why safeguarding is important. One, it's a moral obligation on your part as an individual and also as part of an organization to withhold these principles that are against harm, abuse, and neglect. Secondly, because of the nature of safeguarding, things like abuse, things like harassment, things like financial impropriety, they have legal backing, or they do have sanctions when it comes to penalties. So it's provided by the law in most jurisdictions. So, for example, if I was to take a simple example of sexual harassment in terms of rape or molestation, that is something that most jurisdictions have provided for in their laws. It could be their criminal acts or penal codes. They have that, and they usually have either jail term that is attached to it. So when it comes to safeguarding, you're obligated on a moral and personal perspective and also a legal perspective to uphold these principles.